Hey, Roger here. I'm a top producing realtor, and I'm going to show you how you can sell your house by yourself without a realtor. That's right. I'm going to show you how to get top dollar for your house without a realtor and without being sued. That's important. You don't want to be sued, do you? No, you don't. So here we go. This is very easy peasy. We're going to have a lot of fun. Here we go. Number one, you've got to know what you're selling. You've got to be able to describe your house and give specifics. For instance, how big is your house? What's the square footage? What's the age of your house? How many acres do you have, or how much of an acre do you have? How many bedrooms? Hey, little tip. A bedroom has nothing to do with whether or not there's a closet in the room. That does not constitute a bedroom. A bedroom has to have two ways in and out. You got to have a door, and then you've either got to have another door or a window big enough to get a fireman in there. That's what constitutes a bedroom. Some people have more bedrooms than they realize because they've got a room that can be used as a bedroom but doesn't have a closet. It's still a bedroom, or can be used as a bedroom, and can be counted as a bedroom. How many bathrooms? How many half baths? What kind of shingles do you have? Are they dimensional shingles? Are you on septic tank or sewer? Do you have gas or electric? You've got to be able to describe or explain all these different facets of your house. So that's the first thing to do, is make sure you understand exactly what you are selling so that you can give an accurate description of it. Now, number two, you've got to be able to accurately price your house. See, here's the deal. If you price too low, obviously, you may lose money. You may leave money on the table because you could have gotten more for it. But if you price it too high, a lot of times you'll cut out potential buyers. For instance, let's say your house maybe is worth, we'll say, $400,000. Well, you say, well, I'm going to price it at $500,000 because I can come down a little bit and we'll see what we can get for it. Well, you can try that, but you're going to have a lot of lookers who are only going to look up to the $400,000 threshold. And so you're going to cut them out, or maybe they're looking up to $450,000. So you got to think about that. A lot of buyers that might go up way over $400,000 will not even bother to look at your house if you've listed at $500,000. So what you want to do is find the sweet spot, what you can list your house at that will get a lot of buyers to look at your house, maybe get a little bidding war going on. But that's important. Now, you've got to do what we call in the industry a comparative market analysis. That means you just want to know what houses like yours are selling for right now in your area. So you've got to be able to compare, the size of your house, the square footage, features, but do not depend on Zillow's Zestimate. That is a guesstimate. All they do is crunch some data. They do not know your house. They do not know your neighborhood. That's why this estimate is almost always wrong. Figure out, by looking at what other houses have sold for in the past 6 months, what the market is, and price your house accordingly to that. That will help you get the most dollars for your house. Now, number three, write out what we call a seller's disclosure. In other words, you've got to disclose anything about your house that may be a quirk or maybe a snag, maybe wrong with it, whatever it is. You've got to let the buyer know that, or they can come back later on to bite you. You can get sued over that. So for instance, if you know there's a leak over the garage, you got to put that down on a disclosure. Now, you can download a seller's disclosure from the web, but fill that out. See, the seller's disclosure works for the buyer and the seller. It works for the buyer because they know, okay, we got a leak over the garage. It worked for the seller because once they sign off on that, they can never come back to you and ask you to fix that or sue you because they didn't know about it. They knew, they signed off, everything's good. So make sure you know how to do a seller's disclosure and do it accurately. Listen, a lot of sellers get sued over the seller's disclosure, or because they didn't disclose something that they knew they should have disclosed that was wrong with the house. If you know it, you've got to disclose it to that buyer, or they can come back later to get sued over. You can get sued over that. Happens all the time. Be careful. Seller's disclosure, big deal. All right, number four, prepare your house to show. Look, people want a house that's move-in ready. You will get way more for your house if people can feel like they can just move in, move their stuff in, and begin to live there. If there's a lot of stuff they got to do to it, you can sell a house like that, but if it needs a lot of painting and the carpet needs cleaned or replaced and they've got to do all kinds of stuff, you're going to get a lot less for your house. People love to be able to walk into a house and feel like, hey, I can just move my stuff in here and I'm good to go. So clean up stuff, Declutter your house. If you can sell it vacant, it's better. I mean, you can stage it if you want, but you don't have to stage the house. But if you got your stuff in there, just declutter as much as you can. Get stuff out of there as you can. Now, look, here's a secret. You can put a lot of stuff in the garage because people don't typically mind that. I mean, they understand a garage can be full of stuff. So you can put things in the garage. Your garage does not have to be spick and span, but the house needs to be pretty clean. Check on odors. Like if there's some odors in your house, pet urine, cigarette smell, you've got to do something about that. That's a huge turnoff to a lot of buyers. You can get somebody with an ozone generator to do that. There's ways you can get odors out of a house. You just got to figure out in your area who you can bring in to do that if you don't know how to do that yourself. But you got to make the house presentable. Clean up the yard, mow it, trim it, make the house look as good as it can possibly look. All right, number 5, take good quality pictures of the highlights of your house. You do not have to take a picture of every nook and cranny, and they don't need to see a picture of every closet, of everything, but at least let them see what you believe are the highlights or the features of your house. Take good pictures of course, the front yard, the backyard, several pictures of the kitchen, several pictures of the primary bedroom. Look, the most important things that people are going to look at, number 2, two most important things are your kitchen and the primary bedroom. Now, make sure you have good quality pictures of that. Now, you can take pictures also of the other bedrooms, but you don't need every angle, every possible vantage point. You just want to give them enough pictures so that when you list this, they're going to want to come over to the house and see it. The listing pictures are really just to promote somebody or prompt somebody to come in to see your house. That's what you want. So take pictures with that in mind. Now next, it's important to produce a video, particularly if the house is a large house. Now if it's a small house, it's not as important. But if it's a large house, it's really helpful for potential buyer to be able to see how the house flows. If they walk into the front door, they go through the dining room or the living room, whatever your layout is, let them see how the house ties together. Now, videos do that very well. So take a video, let them see how you can walk through the house. Let them see how the house ties together with a video. Very important to do a quality video. And you might have to have more than one length of a video. You might have to do a couple different videos that you can put on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all kinds of places. You want to put this thing out there, all the places you list your house. Video can be really important, and the bigger the house, the more important the video is. Now, market your house on a variety of websites. Don't just list it on Zillow. There's a lot of places you can put your house. I mean, on social media, but there's a lot of websites. When I list a house, it goes on about 60 different websites. I mean, get that thing out there. If people can't see your house, if they can't see pictures, if you don't have eyeballs on it, you're going to be less likely to sell it for what you want for it. So make sure you get that thing out there in a variety of places. Now, this would be the easiest one. This is number 8. This is stick that sign in the ground, put it perpendicular to the road, and pound that sucker in. Put your phone number in there, and also, depending on how much traffic is on your road, you might want to put a sign also at the intersections that are close to you. Let people know in your area who are already driving through there, who are already a part of your area, let them know that your house is for sale. Put a nice looking sign out there and make sure everybody can see it. Now, if you're making a video, particularly if it's a relatively large house, you want to put that on YouTube and you want to geotag that. In other words, there's ways that you can embed your location into the thumbnail of the video. That'll help people who are in other areas, if they're looking at your area, be able to find your video. You can go to a website. I'm going to give you this website address. I'm going to put it on my website also. But it's a IMGR. Let's see. Let me find this or make sure IMGR.com. And that'll help you. That's a website that'll help you geotag the thumbnail of your video so that people are more likely to find your house, your video of your house on social media and other websites. Now, understand how to compare offers. If you have more than one offer come in, which is what the objective is, know the differences between not only how much they're offering you for the house, that's a primary concern, but also are they putting money down in escrow, and then how much? Where's that money going? So if they just bail out for no reason, you need to get their escrow money. What kind of loan are they getting? Or is it a cash deal? Is it a conventional loan? Is it a FHA loan? Is it a VA loan? These are all different. So I don't have time in this video to explain all these differences, but make sure you kind of understand the difference, because you might get an offer that's a little bit less than your highest offer that actually may be your best offer. That happens. depending on the kind of loan, but know how to compare the offers you're getting. There may be a difference in, when they want to move into the house. Maybe that didn't work with your schedule. If there's any other contingencies, you got to know all this stuff so that you know how to compare the offers that come in so you can take the best one. Now, understand the different kinds of inspections. Now, if your buyer wants to do an inspection, which typically they do, you need to know, is it contingent upon them if they find certain things wrong with the house, are you then going to be able to negotiate that to fix those things? Is it a as-is inspection, which means they're going to look at it, inspect it, bring an inspector in, but if the inspector finds something that's fairly significantly wrong with the house, they can just walk away. You've got to kind of know the difference between the different kinds of inspections so you'll know what to do when that inspection report comes back and maybe they found a couple of things that aren't that great. You need to know what things you can kind of say, look, that is not a big deal. I don't need to fix that. That's very trivial. If it's cosmetic, look, if there's a broken window somewhere, if there's you don't necessarily have to fix that stuff. Now, in final analysis, everything is negotiable, but there's a big difference between maybe a cracked window in the bedroom and a leaky roof, or something wrong with the hot water tank or something like that. So you got to know the difference between what is a significant, fundamental issue that affects the value of the house and what is merely cosmetic. Big deal when it comes to inspections. Now, watch out for what we call the appraisal gap. Really important. So here's what will happen in this industry, and a lot of realtors will play this game. So let's say a realtor brings you a buyer, and let's say, for instance, your house, you've listed for $350,000. And they come in and say, okay, we're going to offer you $380,000 for your house with a conventional loan. And they, wow, $30,000 over list price. How cool is that? Well, but it might be probably as contingent, if it's a conventional loan, on the appraisal of your house. So for instance, you're going to sign a contract. They're going to do an inspection and all that. And it's going to take a while. You're being this thing for 2 or 3 weeks, and all of a sudden the bank comes back with their appraisal, and they say your house is not worth $380,000. It's worth $355,000. So all of a sudden you've got a $25,000 appraisal gap, and your contract was based on the appraisal matching the list price or the offer price. So if the buyer does not have the cash to put down to make up that difference, guess what? You've either got to renegotiate your house, or you've got to come down, or the deal's off. Now, what a lot of realtors will do is they know this. And so they know they can make a high offer based on the appraisal, knowing they're not really going to have to pay as much as their offer is, because when that appraisal comes back, their appraisal is going to be lower than the offer. And so they know they can either get out of the deal, or they can then pressure you to come down on your price, because they know you've now lost 2 or 3 weeks of time. And they know that if you don't do this, you're going to have to start all over again. A lot of sellers don't like to do that. I don't like it when this happens. And so you're kind of in a little bit of a trap. It's called the appraisal gap or the appraisal trap. Watch out for that. So let's say you finally get your offer in that you like. You've chosen your offer. Everything looks good. You've gone through the inspection. You've done all this stuff. Choose a closing attorney that knows what they're doing. That's probably one of the easiest parts of this. Find an attorney that's a closing attorney, a title company that can, they got to do a title search, make sure the title is clean. They can sit you down with your buyer and make sure everything's done legally, make sure everything's good. You got to cross all the T's, dot all the I's, make sure everything's done so that you can walk away with top dollar for your house, knowing that it's not going to come back and bite you. You're not going to get sued 3 months down the road because something was done improperly. Well, so anyway, that's how you do it. Easy peasy. Follow these steps. You'll get top dollar for your house. You won't get sued. But now, if you don't want to do all that, give me a call. 859-552-6481. Or if you want more information about how to sell it on your own, you can go to my website, rogerfieldsrealestate.com, and this video will be there, plus some other supporting documents that will help you do this on your own. So anyway, I wish you the best, whichever you decide to do. Thanks for watching.